Hello and welcome. This is Sports Debate, where we give you a platform to place your mouth where your passion is, to show off your sport knowledge, and all arguments are spot on. I am Solomon Ajuziogu. The head coach of the Super Eagles, Gernot Rohr, has called for a permanent home for the Super Eagles. Since the Eagles left the Lagos National Stadium fortress, they have played in Kano, Abuja, Calabar, Kaduna, Uyo, and Port Harcourt. Should a particular city host the matches of the national team? Why shouldn't the matches be moved around the cities with the facilities to host? All the cities of Nigeria, they're not part of Nigeria. Are Nigerian fans all over the place not entitled to see the Eagles? The main bowl of the Lagos National Stadium is a write-off. So, where would you pick as a Super Eagles home? Katsina has a lovely stadium, a 35,000 capacity stadium. The Mohammed Diko Stadium, Katakanda Stadium. So, where would you pick? Katsina, Port Harcourt, Uyo, Kaduna, Kano. Where? You can contribute to this debate by sending your tweets to me at Sporting Solo TVC or at TVC News NG, or better still at TVC Connect, hashtag TVC Sports Debate. Joining me on the debate podium are two gentlemen who come face to face, and all the way from Trend FM Asaba, Julian Ajunwa.
It's great to be back on the show again. It's great to be here, really. It is. Thanks for having me once again.
And he's up against Ibukunoluwa Aluko.
Sporting Solo. It's been long. It's good to see your face once again.
It's good to see you too. Super Eagles, where should they be playing? Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Uyo? Where should the permanent home? The coach says they need a permanent home. Today we hear they won't play in Kaduna, then suddenly, oh, no, we take it to Uyo. No, Kano people want to see the Super Eagles. Katsina people want to see the Super Eagles. Where should the Eagles be playing? Can the Eagles be comfortable anywhere in Nigeria as long as there's facility to host the Super Eagles?
Well, Sporting Solo, firstly, you ask yourself, where are the players more comfortable playing their home game right here in Nigeria? And I think with the way they've shown so far, they're always more comfortable in playing in Uyo. Because you look at the capacity of the stadium as well, there's a reason it is called home advantage. Home advantage means that the pitch has to be of an advantage, the location has to be of an advantage, the size of the stadium, the fans, everything has to be of an advantage. You don't move stadium around because you need to allow the players settle in a particular terrain where they will understand the perfect condition and the perfect state of the pitch. But once you start moving it around, it becomes less of home advantage. And that's why, for me, I still think that the NFF should settle for Uyo Township Stadium. Let these guys, since they've been grinding out result there, and they've shown, yes, Godswill Akpabio Stadium, and they've shown that they could actually, you know, enjoy themselves whenever they play there. Look at the capacity as well. It's also bigger compared to the likes of Kaduna, you know, the likes of UJ Serena Stadium, and the likes of the other stadiums in Katsina. So I still feel that the reason there's an home advantage is for you to take the full advantage of playing at home. And the Akpabio Stadium, for me, I think should be the best for the Super Eagles.
Well, home advantage really doesn't count in national teams. It really doesn't count. Now, where I feel home advantage will count is when it has to do with club sides, because those fans are located in a particular place. They are accustomed to playing, accustomed to coming to watch their players play in a particular place. You know, those clubs are wealthy enough to have a stadium that is well built, well structured. The capacity is fantastic. Whether they want to use AstroTurf, whether they want to use a natural grass, is fantastic. Now, I've checked around different national teams, major national teams in the world. How many of them have a permanent home? Spain beat Croatia the other day 6-0. They played in Elche. Elche is not where Spain plays their matches. But there is the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium that will host this year's UEFA Champions League final. There's the Nou Camp. There's the Santiago Bernabeu. I'm coming. No, you've made your point. I'm coming. Right. This is my intro. Why have they neglected those stadiums? You know, they've been winning games. The German national team don't have a stadium. You know, a couple of other national teams. So I feel that where the Super Eagles should play their matches is where cities can host. If a particular city say we can host the Super Eagles, if Lagos State, for instance, say we can host the Super Eagles, we have the stadium, we have the facilities. You don't need your capacity. Whether your capacity capacity of the stadium is 200,000, there's no guarantee you would win. No. And besides, Uyo Stadium, of all the stadium we've mentioned, it's not like Uyo is the biggest in terms of capacity. It's not like Uyo is the best in terms of the playing surface. It's not the best. In that same Uyo, we didn't qualify for the Nations Cup in 2015.
But the players are comfortable there.
How do you know they are not comfortable elsewhere?
How do you
know? Have you spoken to them?
No, if you look at their results,
How do you know?
Look at their
Which
results.
results?
See, Julian, you made mention of LT, you made mention of Metropolitano, you made mention of different stadiums right there in Spain. But you ask yourself again, these stadiums you are mentioning or you mentioned earlier, they are standard stadium. You don't see, you always feel at home whenever you play in any of these stadiums. You cannot play at the Camp Nou and feel.
Is Uyo the best stadium we have in Nigeria?
But
is it the best?
Is it the biggest? It is the best.
Is it the why
right
is it the
now?
best?
Right now, it is the
How?
best. Because number one, because
a stadium that was built 6 years ago.
Because no, it's a very new stadium.
What is the maintenance
It is a very new
structure?
stadium.
4 years
ago, rather.
How many stadiums do they maintain in Nigeria?
What is the maintenance structure of the stadium?
It has the best maintenance structure in
How
Nigeria.
many results have we gotten?
That is why it has the best maintenance structure.
We did not qualify for the Nations Cup in 2015. South Africa came to Nigeria. We played 2-2. This same South Africa came to Uyo last year. They beat us again. 2-0. So what are you talking about?
Kaduna, you say they can move to Kaduna, they can move to the West Stadium.
Yes. I'm not particular about one stadium.
Good enough.
They are good enough.
They are not good
enough. Have they not hosted the Super Eagles before?
You don't play football.
Our clubs not playing there. Do you play football?
Do you play
professional football?
Do you know the importance of a pitch?
Do you play professional football? How do you know? I don't know what. What are you talking about?
Julian, I'm telling you.
So they can come and play in Asaba.
They can. Yes,
Stadium.
at the 22,000 capacity Stephen Keshi Stadium. They can come here and play.
Let me tell you something. There's a reason, like I said earlier, there's a reason there's an home advantage for everything. Do you know, you cannot neglect fans.
There is nothing like home advantage in national team.
You cannot
there is no home advantage.
How do you say there's no home advantage?
National teams who don't have one venue, are they not getting results?
How do you say there's no advantage?
Elche, where Spain beat Croatia 6-0. Is that their home?
England,
is that where they play their games?
When they want to play their
England is just one out of how many?
Do they take
Germany don't have one. Holland don't have one.
You are mentioning
Holland even have
countries
3.
that have standard leagues.
Holland even have 3.
These countries have standard leagues.
Holland even have 3.
These countries have
There are good stadiums in Nigeria.
How many good stadiums do you have in Nigeria? How many good stadiums do you have in Nigeria?
If all these states that he has mentioned,
Julian, how many good stadiums?
If all these states can maintain their stadiums, the Super Eagles can go around.
Julian,
we don't need one stadium.
How many good stadiums do we have in Nigeria?
Because I will not say Uyo is cost, that's not what I'm saying. But in Uyo, we've not even gotten results.
Julian, how many good stadiums do we have in Nigeria?
South Africa came here and beat us last year. The same South Africa did not allow us to qualify for the Nations Cup.
How many good stadiums do we have in Nigeria?
There are many of them.
Mention them.
Have we not played in Calabar?
Tell me
have we not played in Port Harcourt? Have we not played in Kaduna? What has happened with those stadiums? What has happened with those stadiums? What has happened in those stadiums?
Or is Kaduna where
is it because last year would have been playing?
Fans will be climbing the floodlights to
because they
want to see. That is they want to watch.
That is not good enough.
Have you done
Solomon, it means the stadium is not standard enough.
I'll ask you one question.
Yes.
You say the players are comfortable. Have you spoken to those guys one-on-one?
See, with
who have you spoken to? What do you mean by body language?
Their coach said.
What do you mean by body language?
Their coach probably was echoing their mind.
Yes.
When he said they need a permanent.
At the end of the day, he doesn't have the final say.
He doesn't have it, but
why is he complaining? Why is he the only one complaining?
They are more relaxed. Even the coach said that they are more relaxed.
Why is the German national team not complaining? Why other national teams not complaining?
See, they are more.
You don't need to have one particular one.
They are more relaxed.
The most important thing is that those guys are.
They are more relaxed.
The stadium in Katsina is as big and probably more comfortable than the Godswill Akpabio Stadium.
That's what I'm saying.
No, the Muhammadu Dikko Stadium.
In terms of size,
it's 35,000 capacity, and they have a better, probably better playing pitch.
No, let's not just the pitch and not just let's look at the interior of the stadium as well. You know,
the interior of the stadium is one of the best in the country.
If you look at the dog, if you look at the dressing room and all of that things added.
Have you been there?
You've not been there.
Which documentary? Where did you watch the documentary?
Go and check the documentary.
Where did you watch it?
Is the Godswill Akpabio Stadium better than the internal structure of Adokie Amiesi Stadium?
Have you checked the dressing rooms? Have you checked all those things?
Solomon, I'll say it and I'll say it again. The players are the one playing on this pitch. And the coach has said it already. It might not be direct to it, but he's throwing towards the line of, okay, we want a permanent home.
You know why Genotro is sounding like this? Because it's part of the lack of planning. We knew we are going to play Libya on the 12th of October. Even before when the draws were made, CAF already has outlined how the fixtures were going to be played. Genotro's, I believe, his frustration should be that why is it that anytime we want to play a home game, NFF begin to run around, we'll play here today, we'll play around tomorrow. Even Libya don't even have a stadium. Libya is taking us to Morocco. They are taking us to Tunisia. Now they're taking us to those. How many national teams in Africa have one stadium where they play?
A competitive game. That's why you don't.
How many have one where they play? It's because the NFF are not proactive enough to plan on how to make arrangements on where we will play.
You don't joke with the competitive game, Julian.
Egypt can play in Cairo. Nigeria can play Sham El Sheikh.
Yes.
Solomon. The only
reason
Egypt can do that is because they have a standard.
Which standard? What do you mean by they have the standard? Our league is not standard. When did Al Ahly win the Champions League? When does Al Ahly win the Champions League? When did Zamalek win the Champions League last? They have good stadiums in Nigeria. What of them? There are a lot of stadiums in Nigeria. We don't need Uyo to be a permanent. We don't need
a lot of stadiums that last maintenance.
In Uyo.
It is.
What is the maintenance?
Uyo has the best maintenance. Uyo has the best. Wait. Uyo has the best maintenance structure in Nigeria.
That is not true.
Uyo has
when last were you there?
So what are you saying?
When last were you
there?
Where
should the Super Eagles play? Where should the Super Eagles have as a permanent home? Gernot Rohr, the head coach of the national team, wants a permanent home for the Super Eagles. Where should it be? They've been playing in Uyo. But from Uyo, Nigeria has not qualified for 2 Nations Cups. And, well, the match against Libya was to be played in Kaduna, but then they moved it now again. They said they will play again in Uyo. And some of the accusation against the NFF is that the NFF gives these matches of the Super Eagles to the states that bid the highest. Well, if you accuse them of that, you must also know that it's not all the states that can afford the money. It's not all the states that have the facilities, even if they have the money. So Kaduna has a standard stadium. Bauchi has a national stadium. Enugu has a national stadium. Even Oyo State has a national stadium. Obafemi Awolowo Stadium. Obafemi Awolowo Stadium there.
Stadiums in Asaba.
Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba.
There are stadiums
there. There is Godswill Akpabio
Stadium. There are stadiums there.
Then there is a national stadium Abuja.
It's a stadium.
Right. So the question is, where should the Super Eagles
has to do with capacity.
You are calling it complex stadium. Is that what you're
saying? Let them go and play in Nou Camp. If they will lose, they will lose. That is it.
You can join us on this hot debate at Sporting Solo TVC, that's on Twitter, or at TVC News NG, or better still at TVC Connect, hashtag TVC Sports Debate. It is still Sports Debate with me, Solomon Ajizuga, and the topic we're looking at today is where should the Super Eagles' permanent home be? Should the Super Eagles actually have a permanent home like it used to be at the National Stadium in Lagos? Or should the Super Eagles move around wherever there is a city that has a facility to host them? Julian Ajunwa says they can play anywhere.
They can.
As long as there's a facility to host them.
And so long as they will get the results.
And so long as they will get the result. But no. Ibukun Aluko says no. Godswill Akpabio Stadium, that the Super Eagles should have a permanent home, just like Gernot Rohr insists that the Super Eagles should have a permanent home. The English national team has a permanent home, Wembley Stadium. That's where the national team plays. What do you think? Because Julian says even Spain does not have a permanent home.
They don't have.
Germany does not have a permanent home.
Brazil don't have. I can name a 1,000
Brazil
countries.
has a home.
No. They've been going around. They've been going around.
Okay.
Solomon,
they go around.
Solomon,
so what do you think? You can be a part of this debate.
Italy don't have one.
On Twitter.
Julian is
they don't have one.
He's using Nigeria to compare countries that have standard league.
Do we have stadiums? Do we have stadiums in Nigeria? Let me ask you one question.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you.
Okay, I'm listening. Okay.
Do we have, is it only Uyo that is the only stadium in Nigeria that can host the Super Eagles? Yes or no? Is Uyo the only stadium? Is Uyo, no, don't go around. Okay. Yes or no? Is Uyo the only stadium that can host, that is capable or that has the facilities to host Super Eagles games? Yes or no?
Yes, because it has the best and the standard condition to host
It's a no
the
because we've
national
also
team.
played in other
You cannot
places.
be
Okay,
asking
ask me your
behind
question.
me.
Ask me your question.
Number
Ask me
one,
your question.
you use Nigeria to compare the likes of Brazil, Spain. These guys have a running league.
Is this your question?
No.
We are trying to make a point.
No, I want to ask you a question now. How many of Nigerian club side have their own stadium, working stadium?
There are good stadiums in
No.
Nigeria. I don't know
those
the
are
figure.
those are sports complex.
No.
Those
Yeah.
are the,
So the Eimba Stadium is a sport complex. It's because you've not been there. It's because you've not been there.
Will you go to last sports complex and call it a stadium?
Where Eimba play is a sport complex.
Tell me, mention how many.
The Testing Balogun Stadium is a sport complex. What are you talking?
Tell me how many
not
club side
limiting
have
it.
a standard
We are not.
stadium?
The question is, should Super Eagles play in the NPFL club?
Wait,
that is not the question.
No.
The question is, are there cities in Nigeria that can host the Super Eagles? So don't call Unilag. Unilag is not a city. Unilag is in.
Julian, listen to me first.
It's a school in Lagos.
Listen to me first, Julian. You said Spain, they move around.
Yes.
Brazil, they move around.
Yes.
That is because their club size have a standard stadium. That is the reason.
We have.
If you don't have a running league, you won't have good stadiums.
Is it that you don't understand that we've mentioned a lot of stadiums that can host matches?
Those are not stadiums. Those are sports. Those are sports
places
complex.
Okay, the Adoke Amesimaka.
Those are not stadiums.
The Adoke Amesimaka Stadium is sport complex.
Issues as
the
well.
stadium in Port Harcourt is a sport complex.
Maintenance as well.
UGS Stadium is a sport complex.
You
see, now you are talking in both sides of your mouth.
They are not standard enough.
Is it a sport complex?
Julian, they are not standard
Is Uyo standard?
They are not. Yes.
Is Uyo standard?
Yes.
How? Tell me why. When last were you there? And tell me how standard it is.
I don't.
No, because we're informing people. You're not informing me because I've been there.
I don't need to be in Camp Nou.
No, you've
I
not
don't need to
been
be in Camp Nou before I know that Camp Nou.
Okay, so what you see on TV.
So why would I be in?
And that pitch you see on TV. You've already said you play professional football. So IBK, that field you see on TV, you can play football there.
Yes.
And you won't be injured.
Yes.
You can play football there. Then you've not been there before.
So.
Then you don't know what you're talking about.
Players that want that.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Why do they want it?
You don't know what you're talking about. How do you know? Which of them have you spoken to? Did the coach say the players want it? Did the coach say they want it?
So number one, Kaduna can never be permanent home.
Uyo can never be permanent home too.
Because apart from
Uyo has not given us results.
Apart from the state of the pitch, Solomon, the weather conditions there.
Which weather conditions?
It's
What is the
very bad.
weather conditions there? It's not part of Nigeria.
So it doesn't mean.
What do you mean by weather conditions
there? The weather
there?
conditions there is very bad.
How?
They have very.
Are people not
During the
surviving in those places?
Under-17 World Cup in
Very
2009, Nigeria
Yes.
hosted. I was in Kaduna. I ran commentaries from Kaduna.
Are people not playing in that place?
See,
Have we not
Solomon.
played there?
Kaduna United played there. Ranch
Solomon,
has
Solomon,
played there.
people not
The Super Eagles have
Solomon,
played there.
let me make another point, Solomon.
Spain
If we
played
have-
there.
Solomon,
Spain played there. Burkina Faso.
Do you know why we cannot? Do you know why we cannot be shifting?
Uruguay
Do you know why we
played
cannot be
there.
shifting the national team?
Is Port Harcourt hot?
Number
So
one.
Port Harcourt is hot
So
too.
number one, if you ask yourself, in Nigeria, how many of these stadiums are maintained on a regular basis? Except if there's a big event coming up.
Is it not when you play
Is it
there?
not when you play that you'll be able to maintain the place?
That's what I'm saying. That
When
Is it not because England plays
Play
at Wembley?
that
That's
they are
why they
maintaining
have
the
to
place.
keep it well.
That is what I'm saying. You are missing the argument.
How many standards do you have in Nigeria?
Adokie is standard.
How many?
See,
Is it that you don't
Yakubu
understand
go
what
on.
all those stadiums,
Port Harcourt is standard. There are two stadiums.
They don't maintain
There are two
them.
stadiums.
So they don't maintain them. That's what they don't maintain them. That's what I'm saying. How do they?
Have you been there before?
Yes, they maintain Uyo.
Where?
They maintain
When
Uyo.
last were you there?
They maintain Uyo.
What you see on
There
TV?
is
That's what you
there is
do.
a
It's what you see
Katsina
on
Stadium,
TV.
Katsina
That is what
Mohammed
you want.
Diko Stadium.
What I'm seeing there,
They
what I'm
maintain
seeing
Uyo.
there is not good enough.
They maintain Uyo.
That bumpy pitch.
And if you don't know,
That
But we
bumpy
should
pitch.
bring the Super Eagles to Lagos.
We should bring them to Lagos. Yes, let's bring them.
We should bring them to
Bring them
Lagos.
to Lagos. Someone like IBK will say, "Oh, it's AstroTurf." So people
Why would they play on
don't
No,
play
we've
on
removed the
AstroTurf.
AstroTurf. We've removed
People
the
don't play on
AstroTurf.
AstroTurf.
We are laying grass.
So even
there.
if it's AstroTurf, people don't play on AstroTurf.
We are laying grass. there.
Solomon, the truth is, in Nigeria, we cannot maintain.
The Asaba Stadium
we cannot
is not
maintain.
AstroTurf.
You know why we cannot maintain?
They can
stadiums?
also come there and
because we
play.
don't have a running league.
They can also
Because
come
we don't have a
down. What has happened to our league? What are you talking about?
The league that Lobby
The league
Stars
has
has just
ended.
won.
Lobby Stars have won.
After many games.
Lobby Stars have
After
won.
many games.
Because we want to meet CAF's deadline.
See, that-
You're taking this argument
see,
to another place.
No, I'm not taking it.
We want to meet
See, let
CAF's
me tell you.
deadline of October
See, let me tell you.
15th.
Do you know why we have issues with stadium? Do you know why we have issues
What
with
is the
stadium?
issue?
Because most club sides cannot even afford to maintain stadiums.
Is it the club side that maintain the stadium or the states?
The clubs have to maintain it.
Or the
It's
states?
not their facility.
Is it their facility?
Is
it their facility?
That is why they cannot move
it's
around.
It's not their facility.
That is why they cannot move around.
It's not their facility.
The stadiums you mentioned in Spain.
Man City don't have Etihad. Man City don't have Etihad.
You mentioned this is a club stadium.
Man City, they don't have Etihad. Man City are not the owner of Etihad. They had to go and buy it over. I think you know Etihad. They are not.
They are not. It's a club-side stadium. The Bernabeu you mentioned is a club-side stadium. The El Madrigal you mentioned is a club-side stadium.
We have stadiums that are in Nigeria.
And how many of these clubs play in this
stadium? We are not saying that Super Eagles should come and play in a Township stadium. That's not what we are saying. What we are saying is that the Super Eagles can move from one city to another. So long as those cities are ready. Listen to what I'm saying. So long as those cities are ready.
Abuja has a stadium.
Abuja has a stadium. They are ready. They are ready. Kaduna is ready. Is Kaduna not ready?
Well, we're ready. How is Kaduna ready?
How is Kaduna ready? That is why we played against DR Congo.
How is it ready? And they have to move our games. And they have to move our games. How is he ready? How, if he's ready, why they move our game? If he's ready, why they move our game?
Do you know the reason why?
Why they move our game?
Do you know the reason why
they said for security issues.
What do you mean by
security issues?
Does that mean the stadium is not ready?
For security issues.
Does that mean the stadium is not ready?
It's not ready.
People were climbing to watch the Super Eagles.
Security should be the number one.
Because people want to watch the Super Eagles. It's not because they're not ready. They've addressed that. The NFF can address that. It's something that can be addressed. It's not a big deal.
How can it be addressed?
It can be addressed.
How can it be addressed?
It can be addressed. It's not a big deal. Because of what happened the last time, so the Super Eagles should not play there again. It means that we should not play New York because against South Africa, South Africa has beaten us.
It's not only security.
South Africa has beaten us in New York.
So
and New York is not the best pitch. New York is not the best pitch.
Is it yours for that Super Eagles didn't play?
So how do you know that? That's what you see. You are shooting yourself in the leg.
But during the days the Super Eagles played at the National Stadium in Lagos, we qualified for our first World Cup from the National Stadium in Lagos. We did well while playing at the National Stadium in Lagos.
There was a standard stadium there.
That we lost to DR Congo.
There was a standard stadium there.
Which standard stadium?
Let's be frank. There was a standard
stadium. Is Uyo the best stadium in Nigeria?
All the stadiums you mentioned in Solomon, they are not good enough.
IBK, is Uyo the best stadium in Nigeria?
They are not good enough.
Have you seen the Mohammed Diko Stadium in
Solomon? They are not good enough.
He has not answered my question.
Solomon, these stadiums are not good enough. They are not good enough. Let's be frank. They are not good enough.
IBK, you see, you just been see.
The presence of the stadium.
When I ask you a question, just answer. When I ask you a question, just don't go like this. The question now is Uyo the best stadium we have in Nigeria in terms of capacity, in terms of facility, in terms of all those English you've been speaking? Is Uyo the best stadium we have in Nigeria?
Yes.
Tell me why. That's your closing remark. I want to listen to you. I will not interrupt you.
Yes.
I want you to talk.
The way I started this show, that's where I will end it as well. For there to be an home advantage, there has to be a very good pitch. Uyo has a good pitch. There has to be a very big capacity of the stadium. Uyo has a big capacity of the stadium. There has to be security, good security. Uyo has good security. There has to be good weather conditions. Uyo also have it. And there has to be good hospitality. And if you want to ask anybody, when it comes to Akwa Ibom and Uyo, they have the perfect hospitality to give anybody that's coming in. So in terms of everything, 100% wise, I think the Uyo, the Godswill Akpabio Stadium is the reason most of these players always want to play there. And also NFF are towing that lane as well.
The first thing is, I disagree when he says most of those players want to play there because you've not spoken to them. When you speak to them and I watch the video or I hear the insert, I'll believe that yes, that you've spoken to 10 is even more, 5. If you can get 5 Super Eagles players to tell you that they are comfortable playing in Uyo, then I rest my case. That's one. I feel that if other national teams, the best national teams in the world, Brazil, Spain, Germany and all of that, Netherlands are moving around and they are getting results, we can also do the same. So long as those stadiums that are going to host can host and host well, security, logistics, the playing surface and everything, so long as we have stadiums all across Nigeria that can host.
Where do you think the Super Eagles will play? Abuja, Kano, Lagos, Kaduna, Uyo, Calabar, Aba, Ibadan.
Asaba.
You are just mentioning sports complex.
You can contribute to this hot debate by sending your tweets to me at Sporting Solo TVC or at TVC News and your better still at TVC Connect, #TVC Sports Debate. Until we come your way again next time, enjoy the rest of your day.